Hi guys, welcome back. I wanted to talk to you today about self-confidence. Some of you may have seen the video I released a few days ago on self-confidence and how I link it to self-love, because I think it's impossible to have self-confidence if you don't love yourself. And loving yourself, how do you love yourself? I mean, sometimes, it's difficult to love ourselves because we see so many things that are wrong with us and so many things we don't like. So that video talked about where I believe self-love comes from. So I hope you'll watch it if you haven't watched it. I'm going to link it. But there's another really key thing that I believe will give you a lot of self-confidence in life. So I hope you'll stick around as I talk about that. But before I get into that, I just wanted to talk to you about how so many of you reached out and said that you did not like my last video, that you don't like the creepy avatar, that you want to see me talking on the video. And I'm glad that you'd rather see me. However, I was just experimenting and having some fun because you guys know that, well, you don't know, I like to write. And so I have a lot of things that I've written in my journals, and this was a way to bring that to life, because making these videos takes a lot. It takes a lot of time to record and edit, and putting together that video where I use the creepy avatar to read something I wrote, it was a very fast way of getting content out there. But I heard you that you don't really like it. So I'm going to experiment with some other things, some voiceovers, some stock footage, because there are times where I just can't be on camera, and it'll be a way that I can get more content out. So I hope you'll bear with me as I experiment and just kind of be creative. But anyway, guys, back to our video for today. Nobody is just always self-confident about everything, right? It ebbs and flows, and there are certain areas in which we're more confident in than in other areas. However, I want to get to like the very root, the very core element of where it comes from, and that's what I'm hoping to address in these videos, because I think that there's a lot of things we can do to be more confident. If you look good, you feel good, you know what I mean? That's going to help boost your self-confidence. If you eat right and you exercise, you take care of yourself, you're going to be more self-confident in social situations. Sometimes our self-confidence is linked to how we look or what we have. And we don't want that. I mean, it's understandable, right? Because if we're having a good hair day, then we're more confident than if we don't look so great that day. Just like, for example, preparedness also is going to give you more self-confident. If you've prepared for something, like a test, well, you're going to be a lot more self-confident than if you're just going in and winging it. So there are different things like that we can do that are going to boost our competence level, which will then give us more self-confidence in certain things. But I'm talking about here, like when we get really to the core of it, right? So I addressed how loving yourself, having self-esteem is an integral part of being self-confident. But there's another thing that I think is super key that we have to remember, because as Christians, we are supposed to be bold and we're supposed to be confident. I'm not talking about being arrogant, right? That is not attractive at all. But just being able to be secure in who you are and in life and what you're capable of doing. We don't want to be so insecure that we never try something or we don't go for things, because insecurity is so crippling. It really robs you of your life when you're so insecure that you won't even try certain things that really are in your heart to do. So we have to have the self-confidence to try. And even if we mess up, it's okay, because we still like who we are, and we're okay. We're self-confident enough to fail at something and not feel like we're a failure. Plus, it manifests itself in behaviors that sabotage your chances of being successful. So, for example, if you're insecure in a relationship, that's a total turnoff. We might sympathize and have empathy, but it's not an attractive quality. Insecurity also can rob you of success in business because you're too insecure to try new things or to go for certain promotions because you think you might not be able to do a certain thing. Not to mention that it's psychologically tormenting to be insecure because of all the negative self-talk, where you're constantly telling yourself that, you know, you're worthless, that you're no good, that nobody likes you. I don't know, just all that negative self-talk is tormenting, and it will just rob you of being happy and living your life. They say that we're not born with self-confidence, that it's something that we have to develop. Now, I kind of disagree. I think that we're born with it, but that the world knocks it out of us pretty quickly. I mean, have you ever seen a toddler? They're just like into everything. They're exploring everything. They seem very fearless to me. So, as Christians, I think we need to remember and keep in mind that you are not doing this thing, whatever it is, by yourself, but that God is working in you. God is the one empowering you to do whatever needs to be done. So you're not on your own. You are being empowered by God. So put your trust in that and have confidence in God to work through you. And that will give you a huge boost of confidence because you're not by yourself. We have to understand that we are not alone. God is with us and He will help us. One of my favorite scriptures is Deuteronomy 31:8, where God says that He will go before you, He will be with you, and He will help you. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, for I'm with you. We have to honestly believe that and not be caught up in unbelief. We have to know we're not alone. God is with us to strengthen us. And when we believe that and understand that, even if we can't feel it at first, just try to have faith in that and step out, because then as you exercise your faith, you will grow in confidence. It's not something that just overnight you're going to have a ton of confidence, but the more that you face whatever fear there may be, whether it's a social interaction, the more comfortable you'll become because you will get better at it. And as you become better, your confidence will increase in that area. But we have to lean in and we have to take that initial step. And of course, the devil wants us to doubt ourselves. He wants us to feel all kinds of insecurities and doubts and things like that, but we cannot give in to that. We have to push through it. And you may have to meditate on scriptures that will help you so that you can be more courageous, because that is what self-confidence is a certain kind of courage that you have to take. And after a while, you will just feel more and more comfortable with who you are and whatever it is that you're doing. And for me, I'm still working on feeling self-confident because it is difficult for me to make these videos, and I have to kind of psych myself out a lot of times to get on camera and say what I need to say. I have to trust that God's going to give me the words to speak. And if I make a mistake, oh well, I'm human. I'm going to grow. I'm going to learn. I'm not going to hold it against myself and worry about what everyone's going to think of me. So I think that if we really boil it down to like the core elements that will help us be more self-confident. I think it's self-esteem, and then the other thing is trusting that God is working in you to do whatever it is needs to be done. So anyway, I hope that's been helpful. Until next time, thanks for watching.